Hello, everyone. My name is Rebecca Morton. My pronouns are she, her. I am the artist and studio manager here at Baltimore Clayworks, and we are thrilled that you have joined us. I would like to acknowledge that I'm joining from my office located in Piscataway and Susquehannock Land, currently known as Baltimore, Maryland. It is my pleasure to welcome you to our virtual artist talk given today by Frank Fisher. He is currently in the exhibition Ceci n'est pas du papier, which translates to This is not a paper. Like most artists, Frank James Fisher has been in and around the arts all his life. He has a BFA from Central Michigan University. He then worked in the graphic design and advertising field for 39 years in Detroit, which greatly influenced his art aesthetic. For the last 24 years, he has split his professional career as a ceramic artist and as a marketing professional. Fisher taught an advanced ceramics course at Schoolcraft College for 6 years. He does an occasional workshop and has written many articles for most of the major magazines. His art is represented in books and private and public collections. He exhibits nationally and internationally and is currently in the Pop Art and Pottery Show traveling the UK. As of 2024, Frank has transitioned to a full-time ceramic artist with a studio in Milford, Michigan. For more information about our artist talks, please visit our virtual library at baltimoreclayworks.org. And I will now turn it over to Frank.
Hi, welcome everyone. The moody lighting is my attempt to make things look nice here today. It's usually a lot better lit, but we'll go with this. I've got 4 things I wanted to share today. I did a little studio tour video, and I did a video on how I make planes, how I fold them, and then I thought I'd talk about 2 pieces from the current show that Yoshi put together. And I kind of go through some slides on that and discuss those, and then we can do a question and answers. Hopefully I'll have the answers. My studio's in Milford. It's in my basement. It's a 10 by 14 foot space, and I'll hit play and you can listen to me talk about it. Welcome to my studio. This is one of my work areas here where I do most of my hand brushing and glazing. On the top here are all my bins to store my tools. This is my entertainment section here in the corner. I have my music and connection to the internet. I have some work in process there, a couple new platters that I've been working on. On the wall are some of my underglazes that I use and some of my glazes that I've mixed. There's a flask in process on the table. Platters, some airplanes, those are ready to go into the bisque kiln. Down at the bottom here I have all these bins are full of printing plates and placemats and other things I use to do glaze transfer patterns. I have some of my big wear boards down stacked vertically. In the corner I have stuff, these are the things I don't know where to put anywhere, so I just shove them over in the corner, and then someday I'll have a eureka moment, put them somewhere. There's a couple slump molds down on the floor in the corner there for airplanes. Templates are kept up in the top there in the binders. I have newspapers and bins with tiles and such in there. This is my wedging board. In the back wall there are my art sample jars. Those are final fired cone 6 pieces that I use as color samples. An unfinished real art background and a paperclay plane on the board. Large stencils, those are the ones that are used for very large pieces like coffins or the house or things like that. There's a work in process shelf, things in the process of getting done, work in process. And I have a working table here with some of my binders of stencils and stuff that I use. I put these away. This lifts up. And I have my wheel down here. is my ceramic studio tour. Thanks for watching. So you could see I could be at two places at one time with that video. The next thing I thought I would share is I did a little video that I'll narrate over here live of me folding a plane. So we could go to that. This was a plane that I made a little while ago, but it was a good clean video. And on the right, you can see the finished piece. And on the left, you can see the point where I've already imprinted all the images. I've done all the colors. Now I've got this thin sheet of clay and it's time to fold a plane. So hit play. I have these paper templates that I use. I mark the center line, the spine of the top of the plane with a little pin tool. Here's one of my slump molds. This one's sort of three-dimensional on that fuselage part. It's more of a V, and I'm using those little pin marks to align and get that spine to where I want it. I've got sticks here that I use to kind of coax the clay into the crevice there. That's I'm trying to start to indicate where the folds are. That sheet of clay is about 1/16 of an inch thick, so it's a little frustrating, but I just move slow on it, get them folded or indicate the folds. And then I kind of start to indicate where that spine is going to be and continue to tuck it in, pat it down. So now I'm going to trim the wings. I use a scalpel. This is a paper clay. And so it's got pulp in there, and it's not like a regular clay where you just slice it and it comes away clean. You got to cut away through that pulp. So this extra sharp scalpel, and sometimes I got to make multiple passes to get that nice and clean. So now I'm going to transfer it to another mold, another slump mold. And this one's just a thin fin. There is no dimension to that fuselage. And I've got to now crease that top fold area on the fuselage. So I'm just going to run my fingers along there and kind of compress that. Get that all lined up. Try to find a stick. And again, I'm still tweaking that folds. The violent part, this is where I tear the clay. And I'm leading the tear. It's not just a quick tear, so that it kind of follows a certain flow and avoids tearing out things that I think are interesting. Still aligning that fold. I use those little sticks to pop open the fuselage in the back there a bit. Tear away a little bit more. I wasn't satisfied. Pat it a little bit. Now I got to put my maker's mark on, so I'm smearing away some of the imprinted graphics there, which was an airplane comic page. I rock my stamp in there and get that in there. The papers are this clay's so thin that if I just let it dry, it's going to curl up. So I put weights on it and I let it dry for about 24 hours, and that'll be bone dry, and I can pop it in the kiln. And I think there's a little quick. I'm basically using only black on this one. This is a underglaze. It's Speedball underglaze of black, and I wipe everything on there. And then once it's on there, it kind of indicates all the areas, and I got to go in there and brush it a little closer, tighten it all up. The next thing I have is I thought I would talk a little bit about some pieces that are in the gallery. If you've visited the show, you've probably seen this piece. And it's a one that I first did about 2017. And basically what you're looking at is you're looking at a thin sheet of clay. It's probably about 14 by 10 inches. It's about 1/16 of an inch thick. I'm trying to trompe-l'oeil a sheet of paper. And I have this thin sheet of paper, and I've made my own printing plate of this ad. And this ad didn't exist until I came about. I wrote the ad, I designed the ad, built the ad. That's all from my advertising background. And I was addressing the what I perceive the inequality of the clay arts to landscape or fine arts. So I'm being very sarcastic in this. There used to be in comic books all kinds of ads that, do you want to be an artist? And Norman Rockwell would be pitching you this, and it was a big thing in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And there'd be a mail-in coupon and such for it. So that's what this is. But it's, do you want to be a ceramic artist? And I am way over the top sarcastic in this. So of course, sure you do. Everyone does. But would you enjoy being a ceramic artist? And I go into the perceived negatives, which are splattered clothes with mud, etc. And I invent this situation, which you hear all the time, but is not actually true. And I've applied it to the ceramic arts. The ceramic art shortage is real. There's millions of artists are needed to fulfill the constant demand for really, really nice ceramic art. Never there been a better time to be a ceramic artist. With our help, you could soon be making $15 to $35 a week. Then I kind of tighten the sales pitch, still not convinced, and I go into more things like, think of it this way: artists don't work at a real job. Artists play like kids with art materials and are paid a lot of money to do it, even more money than most children can earn. It's all so easy. Many artists are making ridiculous amounts of money with only mud. You could too. And then I've included this coupon that will show you magic art tricks to make a lot of money and fool the snootiest of art critics. And it has a free talent test. And so this was a print plate that I made, and I've done several versions of this. My favorite version to date is the one that's in the show, which I made last year. This then is just some of the copy. And this I included because you can kind of see that pretty much anything that's black was the print plate. And then all the colors were hand applied afterwards. And if I scroll up to the top, I got into making pattern transfers. Hard to see it. This is one of those non-skid sheets that you put on shelving. Well, I've coated it with glaze and I've transferred that pattern onto the sheet there. And that's where that squared pattern comes from. And then I've splattered ink with a toothbrush, or a glaze with a toothbrush, and all that. These are all underglazes. I like underglazes a lot because they're a matte finish. I like the matte finish, and for like creating a comic book page, that's really ideal. There's a couple other pieces in the show. These are actually supposed to be, people got excited and tore the page out of the book to mail in their coupon to earn big money. And it's basically the same plate, but I've tried to generate a little bit extra excitement with some of the exploding patterns coming out of the coupon. That's one of the magic art tricks you supposedly would learn to fool those snooty critics. The next piece, this piece is, if you, from what I was saying in the previous one, a lot of my pieces have some autobiographical or things that are important to me. Our house, this is the third version of this theme that I've done. This one here, I wanted to embrace the trompe l'oeil of paper or cardboard, so I've tried to make it very clear that these are tabbed sheets of cardboard that poke through each surface. So you can see the tabs that I have on there. The piece is divided into front, sides, and back. The front is the male, the me in the house. I've had health and heart issues, denial, up here the game of life, getting away with stuff over here. So that is surviving heart issues. This is the back of the piece. I'm not saying that this is my wife. but she's the brains of the operation. She sorts things out and keeps us in good stead. Another panel here. I've used this electrical outlet on a lot of pieces, some graphics for money, some ads. This side, I kind of pulled together several of the pieces that I use most often in my work. And I know that when my work is a little bit odd. It's not your typical teapot, not your typical sculpture. And so I've kind of throwing that right on the side. Text that reads, unfortunately, this artwork was oddly different from the other art in the exhibition. So it's kind of confronting a situation. This is the opposite side. This is more about the things that you have to deal with: time, money, whether you accept or decline things that come your way. And this is the roof. The roof is best way to describe it is I've taken newspapers and I put all the chaos and news and media on the roof. That's the stuff that's always coming down on us, the stuff that bears us down, that always seems to be trying to get in. And I've kind of put it up on the roof, as it's always over there, over our heads, above us. And again, you can see the front and back panel of three dimensionals. There's a heart here, which was a casting that I made and colored and did a little niche. I've tried to make my work a balance between two-dimensional and three-dimensional. My art career, my marketing career, I design ads, graphics, packaging, logos, all that for decades. And that's a big comfort zone for me. So when I'm working on a piece, those are the type of elements that I'm comfortable in using and arranging. Like the skeleton and on the front here, clocks, these sort of things. They're the graphics that I feel comfortable. They're almost like what would be called clip art, little chunks of copy. And of course, there's an emoji over here. We're all on our phones all the time, and you can see on the side panel here the decline and the accept whenever you get a call, which is such an odd thing. But anyways, that's a couple of my pieces. Those are both in the show there. It's a pretty cool show. It was a wonderful opportunity. I can't thank Tim and Betsy enough. You got to go see the show. I feel that it's an overdue type of show that's been out there. There's so much graphic art going on in ceramics right now, and Betsy and Tim are just fabulous at the Trompe l'oeil. So I feel like it was very kind of them to ask me to be in there too. And there's a Teapot 10 show or Teapot X show that's going on. I have one of my tea boxes in there. So if you get a chance, wander over there and check out that show. I've seen the images online. It's insane. Very cool. Very honored to be part of that. So I don't know if there's much more to say, but I gladly take any questions anybody has to hear or has to offer.